I just go through life one day at a time. You know, you never know what's gonna happen. We're not promised tomorrow. I'm just thankful to be able to wake up and breathe the next morning. Good morning. Are you ready to start a brand new day? Are you? I have Williams syndrome. And I enjoy every second and every minute of my life. Hola, señorita. It's me, Callie.
Even before she could walk or really speak very much, you could just see a twinkle, something different in her eye that just, it just stood out to us.
She's always been eager to please, always been happy, and it doesn't matter what comes our way, she just hits it with a smile on her face. You know, you go outside and she would see the trees and she would just smile. It was almost like she was seeing it more than what we saw, if that makes sense. It's just, and she's like that now. She sees so much more than we do.
My mom is incredible. She works hard every day to make sure that I'm happy and that I get what I need out of life.
We have 4 girls, Amanda, Brianna, Delaney, and Callie, and all of our girls are married except for Callie.
Callie is very loving. She cares about anyone and everything, no matter who they are, what they've done.
I love my sisters. Each one of us is spicy in her own kind of way.
The day we told our girls that I was pregnant with Callie, they were so excited. They could not wait to have a little sister. But from day one, when I found out I was pregnant, I knew something was special about Callie. I had to have an emergency C-section. And I remember going in and them telling us, you know, her heart's stopping, we gotta get her out quick. At that moment, I still didn't know anything was like wrong, but I knew something was different. She cried continuously and nothing I did stopped the crying. And then I started feeling almost overwhelmed because I felt like I was failing as a mother. But I still, in me, knew something just wasn't right. We came home and then she started having these episodes where she would go completely limp, almost looked like she wasn't breathing. So we called an ambulance. The 3rd time we called an ambulance, we wound up at the hospital. That's when they heard the heart murmur.
We hear heart murmurs all the time. Callie's was one that got my attention. And when you get my attention, it's never good.
We had no idea. We thought that we would just go to the doctor's office.
I referred her because I heard something that made me uncomfortable. And that started us down the path of trying to figure out why.
Never in a million years do you ever think something is seriously wrong with your child. We went to the cardiologist. They did test. She sat us down and she said, there's 3 linings of the aorta and all 3 linings of her aorta throughout her body is extremely thick. And she said if it was one area, we could put a stent in. But with it being the whole aorta, she said there's nothing medically that we can do. And I don't know really how to say this, but she said she'll never see her first birthday. My heart just stopped.
Reality really set in on us that, you know, our daughter might not make it. Ultimately, we did have to decide to put our trust and faith in the Lord. He was our only hope.
And I came home and I sat down and I just sat there. I just wanted to like soak up every second of every breath she took. I just wanted to hold her and to sit there. and to tell my kids. And how do you tell a child, that your sister is going to pass away and there's nothing that we can do about it?
You really have to focus on allowing the Lord and allowing the Word to get a hold of you and help you through what you're going through.
We were praying, and I prayed and I prayed, and at first I was praying that God would heal Callie and take it all away. Because a mother, that's what you want. You want it to be taken all away.
We had many people at our church and others. We got on Facebook and asked people to remember Callie and our family in their prayers.
I think it was about 6 to 8 months old. The doctors, we went in and they did another MRI, and they said, Tabitha, her aorta has grew 1 millimeter. It's just a small growth, but it grew. And he said, medically, I can't tell you how this happened. He said, there's somebody higher up taking care of Callie than us.
We got the results back, and on the paperwork it said prayer works. The opening that increased in size, they say, just medically does not happen.
She had another spell. We went to the hospital at Gainesville, and they said we were going to have to transfer you to Eccleston. There we were set up with a genetic doctor, and he came in and said, do you think she looks like your kids? Do you think she acts like your other kids? So he said, well, we want to do a test, and started telling us about the Williams syndrome. And at that point, I almost like shut him out, because I'm like, no, my baby's fine. And then I started being like defensive, like it doesn't matter. I don't care. Me and my husband was walking down the hall at the hospital, and he looked at me and I looked at him, and we were both like, it doesn't matter. It's our baby. We love her. If we have to tote her for the rest of our life, if we have to, whatever we have to do, we just was thankful. One, thankful that we got a diagnosis. It's like, okay, she has Williams syndrome. Now what do we do?
So Williams syndrome is a relatively rare condition. It's caused by the deletion of a very tiny part of one of our chromosome 7s. And from that tiny deletion, there is a whole cascade of developmental and medical effects.
We know there's an incidence of about 1 in 10,000 births are individuals with Williams syndrome.
We know that people with Williams syndrome are very socially oriented and very engaged and have a high zest for life and a very sparkly personality.
Children with Williams syndrome very much want to socially engage. They very much want to make intense eye contact with you and hold it.
In 2014, they did an MRI, and it showed the narrowing had gotten worse. And he said with the symptoms that she was having, plus seeing what he saw there, he knew without a shadow of a doubt they better go in and put the patch in. He said, you have to make the decision whether you do the surgery, and it's a risk putting her to sleep, and she could die on the operating table, or you don't do it and she has cardiac arrest. That day was probably one of the hardest days of my life, to hand her over and to know that you're sitting there looking at her, and is she gonna come out? And all along that day that we went there, she was not worried about herself. She was worried about her family, and she was worried about me and her dad.
Miss Hollywood just got done singing a song, and I'd like to dedicate it to my parents. Because they're going through a sad time right now.
She started singing a song that she made up.
If there ain't nobody around you, and you feel all alone, lift your head towards the sky. Lift your head towards the sky. Lift your head towards the sky. God is in control.
love you.
I love you.
You're sweet, baby.
And then they came in to take her, and she looked at me and she said, "Don't worry about me, Mom. I'm gonna be fine. If I don't see you when I come out, I'll see you in heaven."
I say God answers prayers because He answered our prayer, and we've still got our little girl, and you know, everybody's not that fortunate.
And coming out of the operating room, she was telling the doctors that she loved them.
Hey everybody, it's me, Callie. Look at what came to visit me this morning. It is the red-headed duck. Hey guys! It's me, your girl Caster here.
So in 2014 is when we decided to do Callie's Facebook page.
And the main reason why my mom first started the page is so that she could post memories of me, because they did not think I would make it through the surgery at all.
You know, Callie started doing little shout outs to, you know, just what she was doing that day. Her life is with Williams syndrome.
Subscribe below to be annoyed every time we post a new video. Turns out I made it, so I got to watch my Facebook page grow.
And that's what she's always said she was here to do, is share her love and uplift people, and that was a wonderful way to do it.
I knew God gave me a story to tell, and I was finally able to just get it out.
This is what showed up today as they're doing her ultrasound.
Zoom in a little bit.
I think when we realized the effect is when we started getting people messaging us, saying what a difference she had made in their life, inspired them.
You know, life's short. People, you don't know what a kind word, you don't know what just a smile for someone will do in their life. And I want to support Callie when she feels like somebody needs to be spoken to.
Do you have any children?
No.
No. Do you want one?
No.
You want a granddaughter?
When we do go out in public, she picks the one that actually needs to be talked to.
Y'all are so sweet.
Aww.
It's nice to meet y'all.
Nice meeting you too. It's nice meeting your friend too.
Thank you.
It just seems like that just draws her to them. They say, "You know what? That made me feel so much better for you to come up to me and talk to me and give me that hug."
I believe in the power of a hug, kiss, and a handshake, and a fist bump, whatever, and a smile.
A young lady was going to commit suicide. She said she just didn't have the will to live, and that she just felt like she was not loved. She didn't have any purpose.
She had been through a lot, lost her house, lost her job, lost her car.
That night, she had determined that she was going to kill herself. And when she came across Callie's page, it completely changed her, and that she was thanking Callie for saving her life.
That was the first moment that in my life that I've realized this is what I'm meant to do, and it's why I do it.
A lot of people, you know, messaging us saying, "I hopped on just for a second, and the words that came out of that child's mouth was exactly what I needed to hear."
It only takes a willing heart and a tender touch and a little bit of participation by you guys, and it can change the world. And I just feel really blessed that I was able to help somebody in need, and it's just all about true love. That's what we're all about.
We got a call from Chris Ulmer, Special Books by Special Kids, and wanted to do an interview with him.
See, me and you is getting along like two catfish frying in a pan.
I love that. Two catfish frying in a pan.
It was my first YouTube appearance, so I was nervous. I didn't know how people was gonna take to me, but they seemed to really enjoy it.
So we just went, you know, just for it to be a fun experience for her. And it turned out to be so much more than that.
That reached a lot of people, and then that's how y'all reached out to us.
So I got a phone call talking about doing a TV show, and I thought it was a joke.
Hi, my name is Callie Trulove, and I live in Gainesville, Georgia. You may not have heard of it, but I have a disorder called Williams syndrome. It makes me unique because I see love in everything, but it also means my heart is very fragile.
The producer that we were talking to calls us and says that there's somebody else that wants to jump on board. And when he tells us that it is Christopher Knight, Peter Brady on the Brady Bunch, I was at a loss for words.
I grew up watching the reruns of the Brady Bunch, and my mom, my dad, they grew up watching it.
When Christopher Knight and his wife Carol walked up, it was just like they were immediately family.
From the moment meeting Callie, it was this warm, embracing energy of, what would you call it? Just love. It's just
It's happy, beautiful energy.
just inviting love.
Gotta take my gift.
Thank God I didn't put mascara on. Right? Oh my goodness.
It's just, if they could just see a little bit of the love and a little bit of the goodness, and if she can spread that, then we need to do it.
Well, welcome to the jungle room. Oh, wow.
Wow, I wasn't expecting this.
Well, after spending some time with Callie and the family, we felt that there was something there, something magical that the rest of the world could benefit from experiencing. So we really felt that we should pursue more.
To getting the call that we were gonna hop a plane going to California was blew my mind, and I don't think that it really hit us until we were actually landed in California, and then we're like, we're really here, we're really doing this.
Oh, done.
Hello, we are in Hollywood, that's right.
So having Callie in California was an opportunity for us to show her around. It gave us an opportunity as well to bring awareness to Williams syndrome.
Now joining us is Callie with her parents, Tabitha and Keith. For anyone watching Williams syndrome, it is a rare genetic disorder caused by some deletion of genes on chromosome number 7.
We are so thankful to be able to have this opportunity to bring awareness to Williams syndrome, and for Callie to be able to spread her love and to do what she knows she is called to do.
So no trip to California would be complete without a trip to the Brady house?
Well, now that there really is a Brady house, we had the opportunity to give a tour of what life was like inside of this special home.
Whoa, honey, we're home.
When you really walk into the house and you see that horse and you see that stairway, it just seems so unreal. It's almost like you just really can't believe it.
I wanted to bring you here because in my life, this was a place of a lot of fun, but a lot of love. Mm-hmm. And I know that you know a thing or two about that. And now I want to send you on a journey to spread your special kind of joy and love as you meet others with Williams syndrome and change the world.
Oh,
you up to it?
Yeah, I'm up for the challenge. I love a challenge, especially when it includes love in it.
The thought of others being introduced to her and others with Williams syndrome could only make the world a better place. So I sent Callie on a special mission.
2020 was hard on her. Her being cooped up and not being able to be out took a toll on her.
Yes, I'm trying to make a pandemic with lockdowns of hate and anger.
But it also made us stop and slow down. You take a lot of stuff for granted.
God put me here to help people, and I feel like that God made this pandemic happen so that this could be even more special.
What do you think?
I about passed out because I really didn't know what to think. It was my first time seeing a bus like that. It was so beautiful. This is exactly how I imagine it to be. Yeah.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
I'm James
Nice to
Casper
meet you.
Diswordy.
Nice to meet
You
you.
can call me Casper.
Oh, Casper. Nice to
Welcome
meet
to
you.
the Hemphill Brothers True Love Tour Bus.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Look at it.
What do you think, Callie?
Feels amazing. You know, I've waited to do something like this my whole entire life. Now I'm actually here doing it, and it still is hard to believe. It's so amazing. How we get so blessed with this opportunity. You know, I'm just a small town girl, you know, trying to help people, and here I am doing this big project, and I'm so thankful for it. We're gonna be styling while we're profiling. There's too many people in this world that are not loved because they have a disability, because they're different. We're supposed to be different. God didn't put us on this earth to be the same as everybody else. He put us on this earth to make sure we stand out.
As we would say in Kentucky, she was a sight. She was just a sweet little blessing. It was 5.5 pounds, and I was scared to death to take her home, to be quite honest with you, because I felt very ill prepared to take care of her.
I was just kind of, you know, in my own little world, figuring out things on my own at a different pace.
She didn't learn to walk until after her 2nd birthday, which was a big concern. The doctor said she's fine, she'll walk when she wants to. We went through life. We lived on the farm at that time, and I got to wondering, what am I doing wrong? I was 31 years old. I should have known what the problem was.
What are you, Clancy? A dog. A doggy?
Finally, I guess it was 1st grade, we took her to her pediatric dentist, and her dentist said, I think there's something genetic going on with Clancy. She's missing 6 of her permanent teeth. She asked that we take Clancy to the University of Kentucky to see a geneticist and have her tested. We took her and they diagnosed her right off. The starburst eye pattern, the cocktail party personality, never met a stranger. It all fit, but they did the fish test, and it was positive for the missing genes.
So the fish test was an incredible breakthrough for the Williams syndrome community, because finally there was a clear diagnostic test. It stands for fluorescence in situ hybridization. And what it is a fluorescently labeled little bit of DNA. And so what you can do is you can spread out the chromosomes, use this little fluorescent piece of DNA, and ask how many copies of the elastin gene are in cells from this individual.
We moved to Florida in 2005. Clancy had just finished her freshman year in high school in Kentucky, and I was scared to death. I was afraid she'd be bullied and all this stuff.
I hated high school, I'm not gonna lie, because it didn't come easy for me. I did require a lot of help in high school because I learned differently.
She's just always had all these friends through church and stuff, and most of them are older ladies, but she dearly loves them.
I think a lot of that has to do with my mom having 2 hemorrhages, and I had to grow up very fast, you know. I wasn't into this whole high school drama, you know, somebody's dating somebody else's boyfriend. I'm like, no, let's get serious about real life kind of stuff. And so that's why I tended to gravitate to the adults. They respected me from the same level that I respected them, and they enjoyed spending time with me. all having a family get together for something. I think it was my grandma's birthday at the time. And Terry Moncada called me on the phone and she's like, "Hey Clancy, they're starting a camp at Vanderbilt for individuals with Williams syndrome, and it's gonna be a music experience. You'll get to record a song in a studio, you'll get to meet songwriters who've written famous songs for a lot of people, and then you'll get to sing on the Grand Ole Opry at the end. How do you feel about it?" And I said, "That sounds incredible."
My entry into Williams syndrome was somewhat different from others. For me, it was, how can I help with their anxiety and distress? And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could bring people together for a week? And during that same week, we would engage in research. And it's grown from there.
I don't think I had like a surface level idea of what camp was gonna be like. And then I got to camp and it was incredible. The first year of camp when we performed on the Grand Ole Opry, I'll never forget it.
Imagine being worried about this child, young adult, your whole life. And you go to Nashville and you go to the Grand Ole Opry and you see your child up there performing and receiving a standing ovation year after year after year. That means so much to families who have been used to hearing that their children can't do things. This is what they can do. In fact, they excel at it.
Are we having fun or what? These kids just do it for the heck of it. They just love it, and I learn from them.
I don't know, they're just a ray of sunshine. I definitely see how music affects everybody, but it definitely affects the campers. They connect with it.
Thanks to the ACM Lifting Lives program, whoever came up with this idea is really went for something, a big idea. It's fun to try to execute it.
In 2011, me and 29 other individuals with Williams syndrome got to fly out to Las Vegas, Nevada. And perform with Darius Rucker on the 2011 ACM Awards show.
We rehearsed all our lines and practiced all our parts. Yeah.
I have to confess, I was a little bit anxious about bringing 30 campers to Las Vegas, but it was an amazing experience.
We performed Music from the Heart, which was a song that we had recorded in the studio. It was eye-opening, Vegas is kind of in your face, and I'm a little small town country girl from Kentucky, so those bright lights and country music,
Music from the heart.
Through her connections with going to music camp for 8 years, she knew Pete Fisher very well, who was the general manager of the Grand Ole Opry. One day, Pete was in the lobby congratulating the kids on a great job and all that, and Clancy just out of the blue said,
"Hey Pete, I'd really like to work at the Grand Ole Opry." And he said, "Great, shoot me an email." And so a couple weeks later, I started working there, and I worked there 4.5 years. Are you ready to go see the most famous stage in country music? I was a tour guide there, or also called a docent. Now, I'm a clinical administrative coordinator for United Healthcare, and we help individuals who have complex needs, multiple disabilities, and it's a very rewarding job. I am on the Tennessee Council on Developmental Disabilities. I was appointed by Governor Bill Haslam. We talk to our senators and our representatives, about legislative issues. I'm interested in supported decision making because it will help me make certain decisions that I need help with. But I'm not incompetent. It's been very empowering, not just to be a person with a disability, but to positively impact those around me. We deserve a seat at the table. Here I am, living on my own, working fully independently on my own. God is good all the time.
Callie, you ready to see the Opry? I'm ready to show you around. All right, let's go. Woo! Hey, Callie, I got something really cool to show you, a little sneak peek.
Ooh, I like a little sneak peek.
Wow! We've got Hank Williams right there for you, Hank Snow.
Touch it. Oh my goodness. That's
wow.
This famous circle was actually taken from the Ryman Auditorium when we moved here in 1973. Everybody stood where you're standing right now, so you consider yourself one of the family now. I'm so glad I get to share this special moment with you.
Oh, I'm so glad too. I couldn't imagine myself sharing a more special moment like this with anybody else.
Now I'm getting emotional.
Now I'm getting emotional. Ooh. Me and Clancy, we just hit it off at the very beginning, and we're just standing there and we're touring the Grand Ole Opry, and I hear somebody walk up.
How are you doing? Good to see you. You good?
Yeah.
You having a good day? How are you doing? Good to see you. I'm Michael.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Michael Ray. I about passed out.
I don't know if y'all have time, but I'm gonna bring my guitar, and it's right over there in that back. If y'all want to play a little something.
Oh!
Let's go.
oh my gosh!
Thought it was all in my head.
Michael Ray was so incredible, you know. He came up there and he smiled really big and he hugged me and Clancy, and then he sung a song.
I didn't know I was country. Thank God I am.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you, absolutely.
That's exactly right.
Clancy is just so precious and special, and I'm so glad I got to meet her.
Oh my goodness, how sweet.
I had a really fun time spending time with Clancy and her family, and then it was time to move on to our next big true love adventure.
Hello, everybody.
He was born healthy, 6 pounds, I think 11 ounces. Everything seemed normal. At a month old, he had his first surgery. Within a week, he stopped eating again. So I took him back in, and they're like, oh yes, he has pulmonary stenosis, he has heart murmur, and I think he's got Williams syndrome. Depression just like set in, because I was like not expecting it. It was a lot to deal with.
I think probably the first year of him being a baby was definitely challenging. I knew that probably wasn't normal, the constant crying and screaming.
By the time Tanner turned 1, he still wasn't walking. He started getting like physical therapy because he was like this tiny little ball. He just carried so much pain inside.
It was hard. She was a lot and then he was a lot, so it was a lot going on.
I want to say around 6, I got jealous a lot more. He was getting more attention than me. Everything was all on Tanner.
She knows that, you know, like her brother requires a lot of attention, and I think it kind of sucks for her, honestly, sometimes.
until she came along, I didn't have a lot of like positive support, like, and having a supportive partner, like we're a team. We do everything together.
Yeah. Well, Christina, you know, she's really helpful. When I first met her, she loved me a lot, and I cared about her, and so is my mom.
I love you because you're a good stepmom and mom in the whole world. I love you. Thank you for taking me places, what I do, and I'm happy for you guys, so I love you very much.
Well, I knew it was going to be a lot to take on, but I really liked her, and I really liked him and, you know, his sisters, so I thought, well, we'll just see what happens. It's very fulfilling to see, you know, the things that he can do.
We catch a leprechaun! Oh my god! We did! Look! Holy crap!
Oh man, he's just spunky. So positive for the most part. He's just very uplifting, and I don't know, it just always makes you feel good.
Sing a song about mommy.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm a honey bunch orchid. I love my mommy, girl.
People love him, regardless. He just comes up to them, makes friends easy.
Oh, we'll go anywhere and people will know him.
Yeah. He knew everybody his first day of high school.
They call me the mayor of Salem High School.
On the first day of school, I saw him. I said, how's your day going? Are you having fun at school? He ignored me, walked away.
I'm like, did you see your sister in school today? Yes, but I was busy.
High school is awesome.
He tried out for the dance team and he made it. They loved him.
I was on the hip hop squad. I'm good at wrestling.
What else?
I'm good at basketball. Pretty much good at soccer, swimming, baseball. Pretty much good with all that stuff.
I'm his TikTok media person. I don't know what I was thinking, but I had like randomly put a video of him on there one day, and it got 1 million views and like thousands of followers.
Look what my aunt made me.
Ooh,
Nice.
love it.
Another video has like 14 million views.
Oh, do y'all want to see what it is? Let's see if I made it. Thank you, Santa.
He has a girlfriend that he tells her all the time. He tells her dad that he's going to marry Mary when they turn 35.
She's really nice. Me and her love to hang out. You know, about me and Mary, we have met at Ryan Ball's birthday party, so we've been together, we love each other, and we awfully, you know, she can be my princess, you know what I mean? All year long, all year. Yeah, so me and her involved in our relationship.
Because he, you know, when he's 35, he keeps saying that they're going to get married.
That was 32.
Well, somewhere in the 30s.
Here comes Callie, everybody. All right.
Here she comes.
Oh my goodness,
Walk in,
Callie.
baby. Hi.
I've seen your live. Mr. Badham.
Can I give you a
Yes.
I love the red.
Yes.
So red was my favorite color.
Because I told you this. I would do this for you, and I told my dentist that I would make my braces red.
This is Maddie, Tanner's sister.
I love the nose ring.
Thank you.
I love that kind of stuff.
You know what? I'm glad you've been praying for me and my family. That was so good.
We've certainly been praying for you.
He got up talking this morning. He hasn't stopped since.
How
So
precious is that?
Man, I know someone who's TikTok famous. Ooh, I feel like special now.
I'm
gonna teach you how to do some TikToks.
Callie is so excited about that. Oh,
And we
my
got a lot of
goodness.
fun things that are going on. Surprise.
Wow.
Turn right up here. Look where you at.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Come on, Callie.
Here, Tanner, let me have your coat.
All right, here we go, here we go,
Thanks.
Callie.
Love it.
Okay, look in here. Those are more of my action figures. Look, my wrestling. Harry Potter. Here you go.
Now, Tanner, do you like the Grinch?
Yes,
Do you love Santa?
yes.
Callie loves Santa Claus.
Tanner is
Thank
obsessed
you.
with Santa.
And let me tell you the truth.
Okay.
People in my life kept telling me that and people are commenting and saying that they think that he wasn't real, but yes.
He is real. Absolutely, he's real.
He's obsessed with like Christmas and elves, the Elf on the Shelf in particular.
Well, my elves are pretty cool. Evergreen was my first elf. Second was Snowflake. Third was Chip.
Santa Claus is a big thing, and it's kind of odd hearing a 17-year-old talk about Santa Claus.
He's like, Mommy, have I been a good boy? And we're just like, oh, dear.
We do take him to see Santa Claus, but it's special needs day.
There will be like little tiny kids, and then Tanner. That's, you know, if he
And he's as excited as they are.
just
you know?
as he's
He
like
remind-
Will
the
Ferrell.
elf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like Santa, like same reaction.
All right, so you're all set up for your TikTok. Here you go.
Thank you. Hey guys, it's my first TikTok and I'm sitting here with TikTok star Tanner.
Yeah.
What's up, T? How you doing?
Doing great, indeed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There it is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know which way are we.
Natural.
Wow.
This thing was made for you.
Oh my gosh.
What's up, Callie?
What's up? It's such a good time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey, well, looky here. We got to go to the beach. Ah, it looks beautiful out there.
It does look beautiful. Look at all these trees. Ooh. Beautiful.
Wow. What is that?
That is the king of the statue.
Wow. He's probably the king of Bikini Bottom.
Oh no.
Bikini Bottom.
I love this place. It's so beautiful.
It is. Look at that right there.
Oh, how beautiful.
Oh,
wow. That's amazing.
it's so pretty. So pretty.
Oh, we're together as a family.
That's exactly right.
I love you, buddy.
I love you too, and we're gonna ride the bus together, aren't we, Sil?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's such a sweet thing, you know. God puts people in our lives for a reason. I was just so thankful to get to meet Tanner and his family. You know, his mom has done a good job raising him. He's so friendly, he's so nice. The family just brings the sugar and spice and makes everything nice.
They produce smiles. These little teeny people, and they're waving, and they're so happy, and they're always smiling.
When they get off the bus, it's always exciting, always filled with love, all smiles all the time. They're so social. They're social butterflies. They want to talk to everybody.
They just make everyone happy. You can't be around them and not be happy.
It says, Autumn, can you give me an example of a place?
You definitely need to pull them into learning. You need to have fun with it.
That's why we do dance breaks why we do movement breaks, so that they are able to focus and get their work done.
That is certainly a challenge, but they do really well with a lot that we work on.
All right, you can pick Sammy. Come on. What is that? Banana. Good job.
You know, if you're having a bad day, you can go see the Bender twins and they'll tell you, your hair looks good today, or you look pretty. They love you, and that'll make you feel better.
They're just like everybody else, just a little extra love that I wish some of us had sometimes.
Look, that means we're almost home.
That's right. Very good. Twins came into my life October of 2012. Our son, Rusty, met Danica and started a relationship.
I liked him right away. He liked me right away, so we just started talking all the time.
He said she has a disability and explained it somewhat to us. Well, Danica has Williams syndrome, and one thing led to another, and they became intimate and moved in together, and they got pregnant. Danny's mom was not real excited about that because of her issues, heart issues, her weight, her blood disorder, but they came to terms with it. They are adults, and they made the decision to have a child.
If an individual with Williams syndrome has children, they have a 50-50 chance of passing on their deleted chromosome. And so, on average, half of their children would also have Williams syndrome. We were all so excited, nervous, and scared. We were worried about Danny, didn't know whether she would be able to even carry twins, which she didn't, couldn't carry them to term. Sammy weighed 1 pound and 12 ounces. Autumn weighed 2 pounds and 3 ounces.
They were both very, very not well when they were born, and neither was I. I got to hold them, and they were so itty-bitty.
They were so tiny, they were so little. You could touch their little hands, and I never have seen a baby so tiny.
I remember wheeling my wheelchair up to them and being just in shock, just looking at them. It was very scary.
But they were survivors. Bless you. Bless you.
Hey, how are you? Are you happy, baby? Are you a happy baby? Are you a happy baby?
When they were babies, Danny was with us for the first 3 years. And in that first 3 years, she had some eating disorder issues.
I went in for treatment for an eating disorder that I've battled most of my life, off and on. For the first 8 weeks I was in, I did really good, and then I hit a brick wall, and I just couldn't get past it. I went back to Andy's under the contract that if I lost weight, that either I would go back or have to leave. And I lost weight.
I could see, and her habits were regressing. Brought the scale out, said, get on the scale. And she had lost 3 pounds. Well, 3 pounds on somebody that weighs 70 pounds is enormous.
It was weighing on my mom. And I could see that, she was getting older too, and she was supposed to be at a time in her life where she's going and doing, and now she's not only taking care of 2 twins, but also their mother.
When she stepped on the scale, I said, that's it, Dan. Call your dad. You have to go home. I can't take care of you and the girls, and I can't let them see what you're doing to yourself. Rusty felt that she could do more with the girls, and I saw she couldn't do more.
I really didn't know how to be a mom. We grew up, we get married, we have kids. We're supposed to be in the kitchen, we're supposed to breastfeed, all these things we're supposed to do. I couldn't do any of it. And I felt really ashamed of that.
I missed you so much.
I can only hope that my daughters can forgive me.
My mom adopted Sam and Autumn, so they're now my sisters. Now, my mom is Sam and Autumn's mom, and she's the disciplinarian, and I'm like the grandmom. I'm the fun one. I take them to do all the fun things and give them the fun stuff.
So they are ours. That was hard for Danica, and I understand that.
It totally devastated me. I wanted to die. I was just like, no. Now my girls, what else?
Everything we do is in the best interest of the girls. And I know it was difficult for her, but she has, I believe, come to terms with it. And I like I say, we talk on a regular basis, on good days, bad news, bad news. We share.
Phone calls are great, but I don't get to hold them. That's hurt me the most.
There we go.
Everything kind of happens for a reason.
Say hi to Papa. Just say hi to Papa.
Now, they probably thought they were going to get grandkids and not children. Most people don't get children in their 50s, 60s, 70s.
If I didn't have the family that I have, we couldn't do this. We just couldn't.
She knows if I need something. I know if she needs something. We don't even always have to ask. We're just there.
The girls need that interaction of the family, and they don't meet a stranger. So everybody's a family member to them.
I can't even imagine what it would have been like if there was only one. They just keep our lives so active and so full.
The mornings, the days, the hugs, the kisses, you can't ever have a bad day in this house. You just can't.
Oh, look, there's the bus. Oh my goodness, look at that bus. There she is.
It was so fun getting to see the little twins. You know, they came running out there like, oh my gosh, it's Callie True Love. She came to our house.
Callie True Love.
Yeah, I know. Happy tears. She does happy tears too.
Happy tears.
See Autumn's shirt? Love, love, love. When she put it on this morning, she looked in the mirror and she said, my shirt says Callie True Love.
Is she finally here, Mom? Finally here, isn't she? You were so excited. Okay, everybody, let's go in. Okay, come on. We're going in the house. Let's go in.
Callie, I'm so happy. I'm so excited to see you.
Oh
They're so adorable. Welcome to our house. Come on, Callie. We have a lot of work to do, Callie.
Okay.
I love you, Callie.
I love you, girl.
Oh my God, I'm dying on the inside. Reverse on.
Oh my gosh, the adorableness just took over my body. I felt like a kid again. They brought the kid in me, you know. That's what I do. Make it rain. I was doing stuff that I usually wouldn't do at home. You know, I was swinging with them, playing with them. It was so much fun. I love y'all too. Yeah, the twins have made a big impact on me. That is also a moment that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Okay, guys, you ready to take a tour? Whoa.
Let's go to see our puppy.
This is what it's all about.
They look so much like you at that age.
We're almost there.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Oh, that never stops.
What do you wish for your sister to be if you grow up?
A butterfly. I'm gonna be a butterfly. Hey, this is me, and I love everything you talk about.
I had a feeling in the hospital. I just had this weird feeling. I can't explain it. There was no reason. There was no medical reason. But there was a lack of connection during nursing her. It was almost as if she stared off into abyss for a moment. And I thought, you know, something's not right. Pediatrician told us everything was fine. I even sent videos to our neighbors who were like world-renowned pediatricians saying, you think this is okay? Everyone's like, yeah, I think everything's fine. And I kept saying no.
What's going on there? Who is that, Ruby? Here, you want to give her some milk?
Having had a baby 14 months prior, Chrissy was pretty intuitive to the fact that this isn't what a baby should be acting like.
Hi. So it was 7 weeks. 7 weeks when I went to the first doctor appointment to see if maybe she was blind. And I was wrong. So I was really grateful I was wrong. That mother's intuition kicked in and there was something else. I kept saying there's something else. And so I got into neurology at CHOP and they said, everything's pretty much fine, but there is this little gray spot on her MRI, which doesn't mean anything, but it's there.
Chrissy stayed very, very persistent in the fact that this isn't normal, regardless of who tells me it's normal, it's not.
And so I went to the geneticist and they did the blood work and they diagnosed Everly with Williams syndrome. She was about 2.5 months old when we found out. I went through the grief, the anger, the absolute heartbreak.
We were gonna give ourselves 2 more days of dealing with the emotional side of like, this can't be happening, but okay, it's happening. And after 2 days, we agreed with each other that like, we're gonna take this bull by the horn and run with it.
And then all of the second questions start to come into play. How do we research this? Who do we connect with? Or what hospital do we want to be affiliated with? And honestly, I think that that's one of the first times that the privilege came into it in knowing that those were the questions to ask. And the fact that we had the ability to start asking those questions.
What do you have? Lipstick? Let me see. Look at me. Oh, are you putting more on?
Yeah.
Let me see. Blow kiss.
Everly needs feeding therapy, right? I had to see an occupational therapist to talk about sensory issues. I had to see a nutritionist to make sure she was getting the right amount of food in. I had to get a swallow test done.
I think seeing the positive effects of therapy for both of us were like a little bit of a game changer.
And it's the one thing that you can do when given a diagnosis to change the trajectory of how her life is going to be.
Once the therapy kind of became a part of our lives, it clicked in our head that, okay, like this works.
I regained a sense of empowerment. And then once I realized I could change her life, it was how can I change everybody else's? Because the reality is it's thousands of dollars a month.
My heart right here is gonna make me really expensive. Expensive, her heart? I don't get it.
What are you doing right now?
I don't know.
Say, are you getting your heart checked?
My heart sucks.
Say thank you to everyone for helping the research.
I wish I was really.
Tell them thank you.
Thank you.
So we created a Be Strong charity right then and there in the first few months. Two years ago, we had a luncheon in a therapy suite, and we brought the speech therapist, the nutritionist, and the occupational therapist all in the same room. And there were like 9 moms, literally some in tears saying, thank you, like, you've given me the ability to help my child to eat. And that's life-changing. The reason we call it Be Strong is not necessarily because it was her first word, but it was the first way she communicated with us. So she would do this and try and say be. And that was really it. And otherwise it was Dada.
You want to see Cookie Monster?
So my daddy is amazing.
It was definitely the first word was Dada. I just didn't want to upset her. Right? It was Dada followed by B.
Although she's a mama's girl now.
My mommy's amazing. She can cook me dinner. She can make me breakfast cakes. She can take me to bed. She can.
I say she floats around a room like a bumblebee. She spreads joy like pollen. like just dropping off little pieces of pollen or happiness, and all of a sudden you look behind her and there's this like huge field of flowers that have bloomed in her wake, because she's literally bringing a garden to life. But it's just her way of dropping off a little bit of joy everywhere she goes. She leaves that impact on people.
You can't stop and do anything but smile when you see her, when she approaches you this way. And it all just comes with such exceptional spirit and excitement that's so genuine that it's special.
Oh, I keep her up. Hi.
For all of the, the ups and downs that come with this, we now have a different perspective on life through her eyes.
She's a superhero in our eyes. That's the bottom line. She really is. She's so unique.
So I like being her sister because she's very nice and she includes a lot of people. And she's very sweet and I love her.
It's gonna get really fun here. What?
Who is it?
There she goes. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, girls.
Nice to meet you.
It is wonderful to meet you.
Absolutely wonderful.
I've heard so much about Evie.
I bet you have.
Let's get a bumblebee. Did they bite you one time? Yes. Where? I'm in the pool.
This is Ruby Rose. This is Callie. And this is Nate.
Hi,
Autumn. Ev, do you want to bring everybody in your house?
Yeah.
All right, come on. Say come on, guys. It's okay.
Hey.
Cutie. You will be. Come on, Princess.
Everly, oh, she was so cute. She's like, come on, True Love. She called me True Love. And she's like, come on, True Love, play with me.
Ev, you're going to go take them to the bouncy house, Ev. Go, baby.
It was so much fun. Her whole family was just amazing. I have wanted to meet Evie for so long now, and now I'm finally meeting her.
It really is a dream come true.
Oh, he wants to get Miss Kathy. There we go. Family hug. You got it?
Help me, please.
Family hug. Here, Peanut.
This is the best day ever.
I like love.
Ever since she's been little, the very first thing we noticed, she had a permanent smile and she would just light up a room wherever she went.
So when people meet you, what do you tell them about Williams syndrome?
Like I tell them I have Williams syndrome and like it's funny to have it.
Look. Say hi. Hi.
We would go to the supermarket and everyone would look at her. Everyone, we would go down the aisles. There wasn't an aisle that someone didn't stop and talk to us. He's not much of a social person, so it's, it's kind of difficult. But
it forces us to socialize.
Yes.
So we have no choice most of the time.
I love my mom. She's a nurse taking care of patients that are sick.
Holy Name Hospital happened to be the epicenter of COVID. It was like you could watch it on TV, but until you were there, you had no idea what that was like. People were dropping their loved ones off at the emergency room and just never seeing them again. It was very difficult. I had to see patients expiring, care for patients in the moment, the last breaths. It impacted me, changed the way I see life and people.
So is it difficult to have Williams syndrome, or do you feel like you're lucky and you're a happy person?
I'm like lucky and happy person to have it.
Is it hard sometimes?
Yeah, a little bit.
Every time I went for my checkup, she was very small, smaller than she should have been for gestational age. So we waited till 42 weeks of gestation. And still then, she was only 6 pounds and 2 ounces. She didn't have any complications at first. Just, she looked a little like awkward to me as a mom. But again, no red flags.
That we were told.
That we were told, yeah, no. And she had the large lips, all the characteristics of Williams, but no one said anything. And genetic testing was not even spoken about at any point. When she was 9 months old, I had put her on a seat, like a bumbo seat, and she had fell off the counter.
It's okay, Mommy. It's okay. It's okay.
The delay of speech I thought was like traumatic brain injury. So I've always had that in my mind. Was it the fall?
Hi, Mommy.
We went for a neuropsychological exam. Still no mention of any kind of disorder. It was more like, these are her deficits. This is the teaching plan that needs to be in place for a child with her kind of, deficits to learn. I said, this isn't enough for me.
Google was our best friend because we would literally just search any little thing we thought was wrong with her. And we come up with so many different things, so.
I don't know what I put in the Google search, and this picture of this boy, Ben, comes up. And I'm reading, and I'm like, oh my God, could she have this? The facial features, and then the deficits. And that day, I was floored. It was like relief, and also like just terrible. It was a terrible day. I called the genetic testing center in Hackensack, and I said, listen, I've been waiting 5 years to get a diagnosis. I think I know what it is. So I'm gonna go in there for specific testing. I get a phone call from the doctor, and he couldn't believe that I diagnosed her from Google.
As we started reading more about it is when we learned that so many of these kids had the heart issue.
I'm at the hospital now with Mommy and Daddy and Poppy.
Poppy? How some of them at early age were already having operations. So that was scary. It was really scary.
It was total despair in this home. Cause, like you have a dream of having a kid and then that happens. So we took the diagnosis and we made the best of it. She made it this far, right? She doesn't have all the deficits that it listed, but I said we could work with this.
The answer is Ari.
1, 2, 3, 4, 10.
It's 10, absolutely, great job.
It's been an uphill battle because insurances and testing and schools and just everything is just, if I wasn't medically inclined, it would be very difficult for her to be as high functioning as she is. So every time I do something, whether it be for school, for the state or whatever, I always think like, I'm not only fighting for her, right? I'm fighting for all these kids.
17, good work, Ari, good work.
They happened to have a conference that was coming up, so it was perfect timing.
The timing was right.
Perfect.
For us to meet everyone else, yeah.
So you read about them dying, and then you go to a conference, right? And you see like all these people, adults and older people, and I'm like, oh my God. There's like older people, there's people that travel on their own, there's people that live by themselves, there's people, it gives you hope. So I noticed at the event that there was very few, if any, Hispanics, Latinos, and Blacks, or minorities, period. Even though I was born here, I am Latino and that's my culture. And I feel that, especially with a disability, you have to kind of know our culture, like be a little culturally sensitive to understand how we perceive this disability and what it is for us. We told his mother, and his mother said, all you need to do is pray to God, because it's gonna go away. Don't worry about it, stop thinking about it.
She'll outgrow it.
She'll outgrow it, it'll go away. We're not really accepting of disabilities. It's not something that's easy for Latino families to accept, but it does exist. There cannot be 1,200 people at this convention, and you can count on your hand how many Latinos and Blacks or minorities there are. Immediately, I got in contact to find out, like, what can I do for the organization? I know what it takes. I know what these families have to go through, what they face. So I become a regional representative. When education is inclusive, so are the concepts of civic participation, employment, and community life. Hence, one classroom, one community. We can benefit from a lot more services. All those services given to autism and Down syndrome that are covered under insurance for them, that are not covered for us because we're not on this list of covered disabilities. And I think if the disability community took the labels off and just made it, I have a disability, put it all under the same umbrella and let's fight for the same thing. There's a disparity. Let's try to fix that.
Hi, Callie. Hey. Hi. Hola. Ooh. Hi. So nice to meet you. Where did you came from?
Gainesville, Georgia, which is
nice.
miles away.
Yeah. We saw your video.
Oh, you follow
She's
me
been
on
watching.
Facebook.
And we saw it on Instagram.
Oh, gracias.
Her whole class saw it today on Facebook. They played it in her class. So come on in.
Yay. Ariana, oh my gosh, she's so cute and so funny.
This is my girl. She's very sweet.
Ariana is amazing. I'm gonna call her Ari for short.
Lead the way, Ari.
Follow the leader.
Yes, ma'am. And it was really special getting to meet her and her family.
The things you learn, you learn so much of connecting with the other families that you can't Google that. You can't get that experience anywhere else.
Yeah. I made Rice Krispies.
I love Rice Krispies. Me and her are just alike.
It's so not fair that they have to struggle and that the systems won't help them. That's so sad.
Because we don't have the numbers.
My favorite color is red and orange. Yeah.
Did you know that my favorite color is red? Oh! They were so sweet. You just felt the love right when you walked in that house.
Bye.
Adios. The hardest part is the leaving part. Oh, you get so attached.
You are awesome to meet you. Oh my goodness.
See you, Callie.
We gotta keep
See
in
you
touch.
in New York on Sunday.
Oh, we love y'all. We love you.
Group hug, guys.
Group hug. Group hug. Love you guys. See you soon.
Bye, Callie.
Hello, friends and neighbors. My name is Bama Keba. I like to meet you and greet you in a friendly, neighborly way. I like to say, hey, hope you're doing well today. And that's fun and not a labor to be here and sing and play. All right.
It began with an incredible and extremely scary drive to the University of Michigan when Ben was just 6 weeks old and in heart failure. The doctor said, I want you to call your husband and tell him to pick you up, and I want you to drive as fast as you can to the University of Michigan. Just drive. And about 2/3 of the way there, Ben woke up. And when he woke up, I could actually see the fear in his eyes. And within hours, Ben was at the hospital and on life support. And the next day had a 13-hour procedure, which we were told he had 1 chance in 100 of surviving. Ben was packed in ice, and his body temperature was lowered to a point where they could take him off life support because they had to repair his entire aortic arch. But he did survive, and that was the beginning of a very long and often beautiful and often very, very scary journey. We knew it was Williams syndrome because just with the heart problems that he had. And then we actually went to our first convention within weeks after getting home. And so we then
just started to learn everything we could.
The Williams Syndrome conventions are a blast. I love seeing people who have the same disability as me. They're fun, and I just love it.
Before he was 2, he was in a back brace, so he never learned to walk till he was 4 and a half.
Hi, Ben. Hi, Ben.
And one day I put it on, one of the circus themes, and he started marching down through the kitchen, literally. His first walk was a march.
Abracadabra, and we'll see what happens.
When I was about 3 years old, my preschool took a trip to the circus, and I couldn't walk yet. So my mom had to carry me to where the clowns were, and they all came up to me. They gave me their autographs, they shook my hand. I thought, that's what I want to do. But just cheer people up and make them happy. 1 minute later, poof, I'm a clown. I became Big Red the Clown because I love to be a clown. Being a clown is a wonderful thing, and I'm really happy that I get to do it when I do. It's a really fun experience. When I see people having a bad day, it makes me feel bad because I want to cheer them up and make them happy.
We repeated kindergarten twice and first grade twice to try to let him catch up from all of those surgeries. And he was still the smallest kid in the class, and people didn't even know Ben was 2 years older. But he did have his 16th birthday in 8th grade. And we invited the entire 8th grade class, and one child came.
When I was in middle school, people didn't treat me as well as I wanted them to. So when people aren't treating me nice, I just try to ignore them because I'm not that kind of person. But when I went to high school, it was a different story.
He had many kids who were friends with him in high school, but nobody who was a true friend.
So with Williams syndrome, it's very difficult because some people don't know how to treat you, and it's different when people don't treat you as well as you want them to.
As they grow up, they start having these experiences that are hard for him and sometimes almost devastating for us as parents.
I liked high school because there were some great times. I got to perform in front of the whole auditorium with friends watching. It was a great experience. And I also remember playing in the jazz band. Music has changed my life through the good times and the bad times and the hard times. And it's really interesting what music can do for you.
Music was everything to Ben right from the beginning.
When I was about 9 or 10, I started drumming, and I was part of the charity called the Variety Care for Kids that supported kids with different disabilities, and I had a lot of fun.
Happy birthday to you.
I think it really was when he was 4. That was when I reached out to the association and became a volunteer. The Williams Syndrome Association is the most comprehensive national organization providing resources and support to families throughout the United States and now even throughout the world. I had become obviously very invested in Williams Syndrome and in learning about it, and families were then, still there was no internet or any of that, and we were all trying to find each other. We were just reaching out to doctors so that hopefully they would understand a little bit about Williams syndrome, at least enough to send out a red flag to a parent and help them get their child diagnosed. As soon as social media became the thing, families came out of the woodwork.
I live with a guy named Jeremy, a guy named Brett. Brett has Williams syndrome and Jeremy has autism, so they're both great guys.
There's a bill coming up that will change, housing possibilities, how Medicaid supports all of those things for individuals as they become adults and need places to live. A parent typically cannot afford to pay for a child to be in a supported living environment without help, not for a lifetime. You need millions of dollars to do that. What do you do when suddenly you're 80 and they're 60? What's going to happen to them when you're not there?
My biggest fear going forward is how people are gonna treat me when I get older. How are they gonna treat me when I'm 40 or 50 or that age?
In a work environment, they probably work a little slower due to fine motors and other kinds of, challenges that they have. But throughout that day, they're bringing smiles to people's faces. There's a group in New York here called Creative Spirit that is seeking office jobs for individuals rather than restaurant kitchen jobs or greeter jobs.
My daughter's Mia Filipponi, and she was diagnosed when she was born. So my journey with Williams syndrome and Mia began just then, right at birth.
My mom is an amazing person, and she always is with me no matter what I'm going through. She's always there for me. She cheers me up. And I just love her because she's my mama.
I started something called Creative Spirit, and it's really about having a roadmap and a vision for kids with intellectual disabilities mostly who are unemployed at, are you ready? 85%. What do you do every day when you're 22 years old and you have no place to go?
I'm so proud right now, just being a kid that people can see is also a part of life. Like, I exist. Like, I want people to know that.
It's just been a fantastic journey. When you talk to these individuals about their jobs and staying in their jobs, and now they keep a job, they are beside themselves, and it just lifts your heart.
There are so many who want to work, who want to be out there with other folks, and it means so much to them. It makes such a difference in their lives.
Hi, Callie.
Hi, Callie.
So good to meet you.
So good to meet you too.
Hi.
It was really fun just to see how everyone came out of the bus and meeting us was great fun.
So good. It's so great to see you.
I'm so excited.
Hi, Dolly.
I'm really thrilled and honored to meet all of you, and I wanted to say that when I first saw the picture of the bus, I was like, wow, this is really cool.
Well, what if I told you get to go on it?
Oh!
Now that's a shirt.
How cool is that?
Should we go inside?
Yes,
Let's take this party in.
Definitely take Wow, Kelly, it's so good to meet you.
It's so good to meet you.
Wow.
And actually, Ben was the first person that we ever saw who had Williams syndrome when we first looked it up. And we've been wanting to meet each other for years.
I've never met anyone with such happiness, just loveliness as her. She's amazing, and I'm really honored to call her my new true friend. It's so cool.
He's so sweet and so kind. I am just blessed that I got to meet someone like him. The work that Terry continues to do is so important because we need as many people in the world as we can to be educated about Williams syndrome. Terry is just such an inspirational woman. It has been an incredible experience.
Hi, honey. Oh, so nice to meet you. Ben! Hi, Ben. Oh my God, I've missed you. Hi, Ben.
You gotta be kidding me. I was like, how is this even possible?
Hi, thank you so much. Oh, it's so good to see you.
I'm so honored to meet you.
Yeah.
You're such a blessing to me.
Good to know I'm making a difference. I put on waterproof mascara today because I was just like, I know I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
I cried. I cried too.
It is a little chilly out here. You want to go inside?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go see the wonderful bus. Come on in.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
See, you're the same age that I was when I found out that I had Williams syndrome. It went undetected that whole time. I had been diagnosed mentally retarded. They thought I had CP. They thought I had polio. Like, my mom was endless at the doctors trying to figure out what was going, on with me.
Wow.
How did you find out?
I went for an eye exam. I was gonna get my learning permit, and the guy was like, "Nah, something's not right." So he took it was a baby block puzzle, and I kind of laughed at him. I was like, "You're kidding me, right?" He goes, "No, I want you to take it apart, put it back together." So I did. Put it above my head and spun it around and goes, "Where's the cow?" And I couldn't find it. I didn't remember where it was. And he said, "Something's wrong with the way she's processing what she's seeing." He said, "Don't think it's her eyes, though." He said, "I'm pretty sure it's not Downs. I'm pretty sure it's not this, but we're gonna test her for this." Just a wild idea. Let's just test her. So first test came out positive, and my mom said I want another test. That one came out positive too, and it changed my whole world. It was very hard for me growing up knowing that I didn't look like anybody else. Like, I was always like, say to my mom, "Am I adopted? Am I alien? What am I? I don't know." Then I went to my first convention.
So Kelly, are you having fun here?
I had a great time. I cried all the way home because I had met 1,000 other people that looked exactly like me. I see Benny, he looks like me. I see her, she looks like me. It's really shocking when you walk into a room and you're like, these are all my brothers and sisters. I talked to Samantha and Autumn the other day, and Sammy said to me, "Mom, I love you, you're worth it." Aww. And I said, "Oh my God, for my child to say that," and I lost it. I didn't know what to say. I was just bawling my eyes out. And she said, "Mommy, why are you crying?" And I was like, I just love you. They're happy tears, and my heart was just shattered. The thing that hurts me the most is when I see people complaining about their kids. It angers me because I don't have mine. I get so angry when I see that. Because I'm like, you don't know what I was like, you don't get it. I wish I could see my kid throw a tantrum. I really wish. I've done the best I can.
Absolutely, you have.
And he always seems to find a way to pull me out of it.
That's great.
I mean, he'll show up at my door and be like, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. Right. And that's
great.
I've never loved anybody the way I love him. It's everything. It keeps me going.
Because something that people are going to run into a lot when they have Williams syndrome is not only are you going to have post-traumatic stress from something, it's going to be magnified a lot more than what anybody else is going to go through.
People with Williams syndrome definitely get taken advantage of. I got taken advantage of really bad. Quite a few times. And he is just so gentle, so kind, so patient with me. It's unbelievable. I hope everybody that has any disability of that sort gets to feel that.
It's a long process, what you're going through, and it sounds like you're doing an amazing
Yeah.
job. And
Yes.
I think, the other thing to remember is that you are not alone in this journey.
No.
There are other individuals with Williams syndrome who are dealing with the same things.
And I've got Ted, he's amazing and supportive, and I got my mom, they've got my back. So, it's made a world of difference for me, for sure.
I wish I could just be a little bit of what
Isn't
y'all
she
are.
beautiful, Mom?
She is beautiful.
And I think her story touched my heart, and I will definitely keep this with me for the rest of my life. And I always remember you when I'm going through a tough time, and I always say, well, if she could do it, I can do it too. So
If ever I need anything, I know who to turn to. As a friend and as a caring person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
Always. I I've been seeing for a while. If I can make one person smile, one person laugh, something, then this life is worth it.
Aww.
Thank you. And my door is always open. If you guys ever want to come stay with me, you're more than welcome to. I will definitely
Oh,
come.
we'll do that someday. Why not? We'll have a Williams Syndrome girl.
Yeah,
party.
right? Bye, then.
friends. So good to see you. Take care.
Yes, you too.
We all have a story to tell, and it's special in its own and unique way. I know that people's gonna relate.
Oh, you are so special, girl.
You are too.
Bye.
You know, this is why the world needs Ben's love and your happiness and your uplifting spirit, because there's a lot of people that goes through a lot of things in life.
My heart fell apart.
Yeah.
I know that you feel everything that she said at a far different level than I can. Just an amazing young woman.
My heart was not ready for that. I feel a lot better now that I got it out.
Okay.
True love.
There's that heart. There's that heart.
A long, long time ago, there was a 6-year-old living all alone in the middle of his dreams. I wish that the DSS judge and the Father above us would send me someone to adopt me. How was that?
Jim and Cheryl are just a fantastic couple. Very social. They connect well with the people in our church. You want some good laughs. If you want just a fun evening together, you hang out with the Willers.
Dad's just a crazy Beatles fan. My mom, she's like this pretty woman who always takes care. That's fun. Sometimes can be a little grumpy when I don't do something good and I know I should have.
We tried to have our own children and that did not work out well, so we decided that we would look into doing foster care.
40 years ago, I started volunteering at a camp for special needs adults. I met a woman there with something called Williams syndrome, and she was just like a riot. So then fast forward, Jeremiah comes to us. He's like, oh, he has Williams syndrome. Oh, we know what that is.
I'm super strong. I'm also fast. I also have the ability to disappear and reappear. Like this.
When we went to get him, he automatically a joy, right? He grabbed onto Jim's hand, walked out with us.
I was so excited. I love them a lot.
He, from day one, has been this joy to us to have.
I can't explain how happy I've been. I can't. I really, really can't.
It takes large hearts, people willing to go those extra miles for doctor's appointments and extra school.
We did spend probably a good year going to a urologist, all of the ologists.
Just getting blood tests is really hard for me. It's one of my fears. I'm like, get that needle away from me.
A year and a half ago, he had to have open heart surgery, and we just kind of told him that he was going to go in. He was going on a space mission. The hospital was fabulous with it, gave him his space mask and gave him his spacesuit and worked through that whole thing and really, really, really worked with us to make sure that there was not any more anxiety than needed to be. So he came out as a robot and he left as a human. So as they were taking wires off of him, we would say, oh, Jeremiah, you're becoming more human again. And he would talk like a robot.
It was kind of like a supercharger or something. I don't know how radioactive it was, but it was pretty good.
Sometimes folks will start out with a child in foster care and they'll find that they have special needs that none of us really realize. And sometimes they don't want to hang on to that child, and that's kind of sad when that does happen, but it does happen. And then you have folks like the Willers, who say, yes, absolutely, bring this child to us, and we'll love this child and take care of this child as our own.
You know, what's better than one is having two kids with Williams syndrome, right? Abby's foster parent at the time said she was going to be ready, free for adoption. Was there anybody interested? And, you know, Abby was like ready to come the next day, right? So then there's a whole lot of out-of-state paperwork on top of our in-state paperwork, and then the fact that she has some Native American blood in her. They have to check with not only the tribe she came from, but all the other tribes in the area to see if anybody was interested. And that's a little heartbreaking that nobody wanted her. How could, like, all these people, all these resources not, and I mean, they're missing out. So Jim and I flew out in April to pick her up, and from day one, again, it's just like you just fell in love with her on the spot.
She was like definitely last year, a long time ago.
How'd you feel?
Good.
You know, she wasn't full of a lot of words, but a whole lot of smiles.
I love Mom and Dad.
They are inseparable, but they're siblings too, so, you know, just it's kind of...
It's best that they're in separate classrooms, for instance, because they are siblings.
Yeah.
Both of them just engage and smile and just always happy and just great children.
Our kids give us amazing grace, so when we make a mistake, they're the best people to make mistakes with because they love you just no matter what.
We gotta ride.
Yay!
Yay!
The boss is here! The boss is here!
Buzz is here! Buzz is here! Hi!
Go ahead, go say hi!
Hi, everybody!
Hi, Keely! I'm Cheryl!
Nice to meet you!
Nice to meet you!
Nice to meet you.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I give you a hug?
Oh, yes, it's welcome. Thank you.
What an inspiration you are.
Oh, thank you.
Have you been having a good time?
Yes. La 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 la. We're gonna be famous.
You deserve to be famous.
Yes, you are.
I'm so excited.
You're the man. You're the man.
Thank you for guys coming. We're so excited you're here. Let's go on in for church.
Yay!
It's been great just watching as they've leaned into faith, as they've found a community that supports them, that cheers them. And really that's what the church is all about. It's people being with people, loving people, supporting and helping them grow through the ups and downs.
We're so grateful that we get to be a part of what is going on with the True Love family. Callie, it's so great to have you here because I don't know about you, but I like gifts. And today I want to talk about another gift, and that is the gift of life. The gift of life makes the gift of love possible. It's a valuable gift, yet it is a gift that is filled with potential. Pastor Keith, if you want to come on up.
It's such an honor to be here. We've been going through the last couple of weeks and meeting people. It's just a blessing to just feel that love and have that love everywhere we go. And all things work together for good for those that love God. If we'll love God right, some things will fall in place. Can I get an amen right there? It'll just fall in place.
Come on, let's have some fun.
Bigger family.
You want to know something funny?
What?
Kelly's my name too.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. Spelled the same way.
Oh my.
C-A-L-L-I-E?
Yes, yes.
When we were driving down the road to the mall to buy some steaks. Sounds so dumb. We were going to get some steaks at the mall and we saw your bus. And I said, Mom, stop, I think that's Callie. I felt like we met someone famous. I really did. And we have just followed her page for years. She's been such an inspiration to us. You shine God's light in everything you say and everything you do, and it has just meant a lot to me. I feel like she humanizes life for us. I mean, Her family, they go through real things every day, and it's very relatable. You know, that things aren't perfect and happy all the time, but you can still find joy. And having that foundation in God, it just means everything, even when you go through all those valleys.
Amen.
Jeremiah's into drums. He is into sharks, dragonflies, space.
These are the planets in our solar system, and this is the sun. This is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Abby loves makeup.
She put makeup on my face and do my haircut and everything.
I went on the bus with my new family, and we chit-chatted, and we waited for Mom and Dad to come out. And my biggest peak of them all is celebrating with my family.
No.
There were some really happy things in my life today. Like, I have new family members.
Are you guys gonna stay friends for a long time now?
Yes, this has been what it's all been all about from the beginning. The fact that we were finally able to do something like this, you know. It's been a year since we've ever did something like this, and I never thought it would be this special.
To our hearts. Yeah.
Can we get some tissues on set? I could use one right now.
Bye. Oh, you have been such a blessing to me today. Thank you for allowing us to come.
Good Matata, no worries.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
Wonderful phrase. Yes. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. It makes no worries for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
Love is the most powerful law of all, and I want people to realize that love conquers all.
When I started studying Williams syndrome, little did I know that it was going to become the passion of my life, the focus of my research, in ways I never expected. So I backed into Williams syndrome entirely by accident. My research is in epigenetics, and I was studying a group of genes that have a role in epigenetics, and one of them had this funny name, Williams syndrome transcription factor. And that was the first time I had ever heard of Williams syndrome, and was taken by it. I decided to really follow that path of study. And what I was interested in was understanding how all the different genes that are missing, what is each gene actually doing? I wanted to know how my favorite gene, WSTF, was actually contributing to that. We discovered that when a frog that we used for our model is lacking sufficient amounts of WSTF, there are dramatic changes in the development of the brain, the development of the cartilage of the face, the development of the skin. So many changes that in fact echo the changes we see in patients with Williams syndrome. And then when I started actually meeting people with Williams syndrome, that changes you. I gave this talk about what we were doing. At the end of my talk, a woman came up to me from the audience and said, "My son has Williams syndrome. I would love for you to meet him. I would love to get together." So that was my first encounter with a person with Williams syndrome. This brought to life this syndrome that I've been thinking about in this very academic, how do the molecules move kind of sense. My lab had been working on Williams syndrome for about 5 years, and I had my first son, Reese. When Reese was born, he was, he had failure to thrive. He had some things going on, but I never once for a minute thought of Williams syndrome.
Reese's first 2 months of life were really, really hard. He was colicky and he was not eating well, so we were syringe feeding him. So for the first 2 months of his life, you couldn't tell what was wrong because you were so crazy from lack of sleep that you were barely holding on to your own sanity, trying to keep this little tiny thing alive. But by 6 months, it was clear that he was starting to miss milestones. And I am the optimist of this marriage, and so I'm always like, oh, he'll get there, everybody's different, And
I was like, nope, something's up. When Reese was 18 months old, we diagnosed him by microarray with Williams syndrome. And when the geneticist called me, she got as far as saying, okay, I have something to tell you. It's deletion on chromosome 7. And I cut her off and I said, get out of town. He doesn't have Williams syndrome. I couldn't believe it. Here, I and my lab had been studying this syndrome for years, and my son has Williams syndrome.
What are the odds?
Well, the odds of having a kid with Williams syndrome, 1 in 10,000. But oh my God, having a child with Williams syndrome, born to a parent studying it, I can't even imagine what those odds are. So when I first got the diagnosis, there was a long period of disbelief. It seemed too outrageous a coincidence. I kept catching myself and saying, did I dream that Reese has Williams syndrome?
There's a grief in believing that your child's life is different and more constrained than you thought it was going to be. And I think it was a full year that you go through that grieving to the space of, this is a wonderful child. This is an absolute joy in our lives. You have to get through what your dreams and hopes and expectations were, and you have to put those to the side, and you have to be in the present and enjoy that.
Papa, are you in the book?
Reese was adorable and just an amazing kid. And so he very quickly helped me get past that sense of loss to, wait a minute, what have I got here? I have a kid with Williams syndrome. And I know all about Williams syndrome as a scientist. What do I have to learn as a mother?
As a parent of any child, but as a parent of a special needs child, there's this constant sense of you're not doing enough. There's more services, there's more interventions, there's more things you can do to help your child be successful in a world that's not set up for them.
He took a long time to talk, and when he started talking, it was very limited. And so I actually started to wonder whether or not Reese might also be on the autism spectrum. For Williams syndrome, he was very socially reserved early on, and he had this very profound speech delay. And so we took him to an autism clinic in Portland, explained to them first what Williams syndrome was, and got him evaluated. And in fact, he does have a medical diagnosis, a clear diagnosis of autism. So he is one of a number of children with Williams syndrome that do have a genuine co-diagnosis of autism.
You can completely lose yourself in trying to be everything for a special needs kid. And that's the wrong focus. The right focus is the joy they bring to your life, the joy that you can bring to them. Because if that is the center of your world, not the challenges, not the way that the world isn't going to work for them, but rather the joy, then everything else falls into place.
Nice to meet you, Ross. Wow, I got the Williams syndrome cert.
That's right. Well, please come inside.
Thank you.
June 27th, you're 18?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I feel so old.
Well, we can't believe we almost have a teenager here, right?
How exciting is that?
Yeah, I'm gonna be 13 in 8 months. It's gonna start like 8 maybe?
Yeah, when's your birthday?
January 27, 2009.
January the 27th. Wait a minute, my birthday's June 27th.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, we got 27 up!
You guys could like celebrate half birthdays together.
Jocelyn and Reese are one of the most sweetest people I've ever met. They're humble, they're kind. I mean, when I go back to Oregon, you better believe I'm going back and seeing them. There you go, bud.
That is why I call it rock music.
We had food, we sang, we danced to their favorite songs, and I love of how they do this all the time. That's so cute.
Mom, Alaska.
There's an airplane. Is it an Alaska plane?
2 o'clock.
Yep, there it is.
We took him to the river, and then I had a huge surprise for him. Now open your eyes and peek inside.
A hat.
What kind of hat is that?
A pilot hat.
It's a pilot hat.
I'm a pilot?
You're a pilot.
A sparkle and twinkle in that kid's eye when he found out what he was gonna get to do melted my heart. I was crying.
What you call an airplane rhymes with Callie. Callie on an airplane.
He loves to make people laugh. That's his joy. His jokes are very silly and make no sense, but that just makes them funnier.
I'm gonna have so much fun. Let's have more fun.
Let's have more fun.
No, we're gonna push to the airport. Oh dear. Look! Whoa, look at all the planes! They get worse. So we're on the airplane.
Over your shoulder.
I can see everything.
Now me, I would kind of be afraid flying in something like that, but that kid was full force, like, I'm so excited. You could tell in his voice. He was like, yeah!
Wow. That was so fun. That was so fun.
And then when he landed, oh my goodness, that was so much fun to get to see how happy he was after that. You knew he had a dream about doing that, and then it came true.
How was it?
It was crazy.
And that shows him that dreams can really come true, and it's just so amazing.
Well, guess what? Since I'm a flight instructor, that means you had your first flight lesson.
I just felt so warm inside.
Thank you.
First step to Reese pilot.
That day was one I'll never forget.
True love is in the air whenever Callie comes to call. You can't help but fall.
True love means that we are supposed to be kind to one another. We're supposed to lift each other up and not tear each other down. It's all about us coming together as one, and we can all agree on unconditional love.
We just ought to take a little extra time and have a little more concern for our fellow man.
It's just recognizing the incredible value of each person and being able to encourage and support them in their journey.
We need to be able to act towards each other with love, and we need to be able to start with the principle that you're worthy of love and that I can love you across political difference, across racial difference, across a developmental difference, that love is just as strong and just as important.
Individuals with Williams have a way of just getting under your skin in the best way possible. You know, they make an impact that you can't forget.
We are humans first. That is who we are. Our disability is second. So before you think things, get to know us. Just see the world through our eyes.
It's like life is painted with like this happy brush, and no matter what they see, that's bad. They try to see the positive in it.
There are bad things going on in this world, but love is always gonna win.
Love is what makes us happy, and love is what makes us feel warm and comfortable inside. And I think that true love is what everybody needs.
Spend an hour with a Williams child, and it will change your life forever.
It's awesome. It's like I'm not the end of the world that's trying to get nicer.
I think love is the most important because love is being sweet and kind to people.
Williams syndrome has changed our life, honestly. So we're grateful for her. Because at the end of the day, you know, she changes us.
If the whole world could be or see through their eyes, it would be such a glorious place to be.
If everyone had Williams syndrome in the world, there would be no need for armies or anything, because everybody would love one another.
I will always remember this story. There was a studio musician, and after the Campers had recorded their song, he kind of tentatively approached me and he said, "This Williams syndrome, will you tell me something?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Can I have it too?"
When I walk in there, it's just, I feel this rush of 100% unconditional love.
You know what? Life is so precious, and I just want to tell anybody who is struggling with self-confidence or with who they are, it does not matter where you've been, what you've done, there's still people that's gonna love you.
I wish the world could see each other the way Callie sees everybody and give people a chance.
You know, the worst thing for me as a child was seeing how frustrated my parents were and thinking it was my fault. You know, don't say your kid can't do this, that they're not capable, they're more capable than you think.
It's very easy to let a diagnosis steal your early childhood with your child. It's very empowering to try and take some control over it.
Don't panic, right? If this stuff seems scary and overwhelming, go to the WSA. Go to people like me who love to sort of translate it.
Take a deep breath, find your community, find your support system.
Find the joy in your child.
Yes.
Don't look at the negatives, focus on the positives.
Callie says that all the time. You know, you just need to love yourself and be happy no matter what you face, no matter what the circumstances are that's going on around you. Just love yourself and love others, and it's easy. That's what she says, it's easy to love. It's better to love.
After living this experience, I'm left with the thought that it's not what's wrong with them. It's what's wrong with us.
I don't know how many people has said, there's nothing wrong with Callie. She's perfect. It's us. It's us that has the problem. And I'm like, you're right. Really, you're right. We should strive to to see the beauty in everything. We should slow our life down, see things and love people.
Let there be love. That's it. Love is everywhere.